everyone, welcome to my channel. In our previous class, we discussed about types of reactions, that is combination reaction, decomposition reaction, displacement reaction, and double displacement reaction. Okay, so in lecture 3 and lecture 4, we discussed about types of reaction. And in today's video, we will discuss about endothermic reaction and exothermic reaction. As you see the diagram on the screen here, in one diagram on the left side, I have shown you the ice, and on the right side, it is fire. Okay, this ice, when you see the diagram, the heat is going inside it. That means this diagram tells you the heat is absorbing here. And here in fire, the heat is releasing. Okay, so in this simple example also, you can understand which is endothermic and which is exothermic. Okay, let us discuss more about this. Endothermic reaction. Endothermic reaction means the heat is absorbed. In this reaction, the heat is absorbed. And here in exothermic reaction, heat is released. Okay, so if we want to describe it in terms of statement or sentence, a reaction is called endothermic reaction when energy is absorbed during chemical reaction. Okay, the example is melting of ice or dissociation of potassium nitrate in water. Exothermic reaction is a reaction in which heat is released or given out along with the formation of products. Examples: formation of ice from water. Another example is dissolution of sodium hydroxide in water. How do we write the reactions in endothermic reaction? Let's write it here. In endothermic reaction, you will see that reactants will be there, or reactant is there, and since it is absorbing the heat will be here in the reactant, and you will get only the product on the right side. Okay, whereas in exothermic reaction, you will see reactants here on the left side, and on the right side you will see product and heat. Product plus heat is released. Let us take one example of a reaction. So nitrogen plus oxygen plus heat. Okay, it will give you 2NO. Similarly, for exothermic reaction, if we write the example, carbon plus oxygen will give you, it will release heat and it will give you carbon dioxide. Okay, this is a type of reaction can be written in exothermic and endothermic reactions. Okay, endo means within heat. What is the meaning of endo? Endothermic. Endo means within. Thermic means heat. Okay. Exothermic. Thermic means heat, and exo means out. That means the heat is released outside. Here heat is absorbed. This is in simple language we can understand what is the meaning of endothermic and exothermic reaction. Okay, let us discuss more about this. Suppose you must be knowing about the hydrochloric acid. We get it in two form. One is concentrated HCl and other one is a diluted HCl. How do we prepare diluted hydrochloric acid from concentrated hydrochloric acid? Okay, so we have to know the process, how it is done. Just in simple, we can understand how concentrated sulfuric acid is converted into hydrochloric acid. In this process of dilution of concentrated sulfuric acid, they will add water in it. Okay, so if you take a beaker and put concentrated sulfuric acid in it, and then you put water in it, when you do, as a result, water gets evaporated instantaneously because it is concentrated sulfuric acid. So if you take like this, then it will evaporate instantaneously. If it is poured into the concentrated sulfuric acid, it may also cause an accident because it is very exothermic. Okay, because it releases lot of energy, lot of heat. So what to do to avoid such accident? What they will do to avoid this, a little amount, required amount of water is taken in a glass container, and a small amount of concentrated sulfuric acid is added slowly and by stirring it. Okay, so slowly you will add water in it and you will stir it. So what will happen when you do such process? Only little amount of heat is liberated at a time. So it will not give you, it is not dangerous. It's not very dangerous. We have to do it very carefully. You should not put lot of water and suddenly you put concentrated acid in it and then you try to make it dilute. It's not possible like that. Okay, because it may cause accident also. Anything can happen. So that's why to avoid this, what you will do, you will take concentrated HCl and drop by drop you will put water inside it in it, and you will also stir it so that little amount of heat is generated. In this way, the hydrochloric acid is diluted. Okay, let us try to understand another activity which is discussed in your textbook. Let us take two bottles here, which is of plastic. Okay, both are of plastic. Why plastic? Because it's an insulator of heat. Okay, it's an insulator of heat. We are discussing one activity here, experiment, insulator of heat. Why plastic? So that dissipation of heat is prevented. So that dissipation of heat is prevented. Okay. Now in this both bottle, you are going to take some water in that. Let us take some water. How much water we will take? We will take 100 ml water. 100 ml of water. I am writing water as H2O. 100 ml of water. So in this activity, take 100 ml of water in both the bottle and use a thermometer. Use thermometer and check the temperature. Okay, note the temperature. It will give you some room temperature or some temperature. It will give you whatever temperature is there of water. That temperature you have to note down. Okay, later on, again, what you have to do in this, in same beaker, let me put water in this, 100 ml of water, 100 ml of water. Okay, in first beaker, what I'm going to do, I'm going to add 5 gram, 5 gram. Now G is not gaseous here, okay, it's a 5 gram. Just understand, it's a 5 gram of KNO3. I'm going to add in it. What is KNO3? It is potassium nitrate. Potassium nitrate. And the second beaker, with 100 ml of water, I'm going to add 5 gram of NaOH. Okay, NaOH means sodium hydroxide. So after adding this, we are going to shake it. Shake this mixture properly. Shake this mixture properly, and then you have to note the temperature. Okay, note the temperature. So when you note the temperature here, you will see that here the temperature is decreasing. Whatever temperature was there earlier, if you note the temperature using thermometer, here the temperature is decreasing. And in this case, in the second beaker, if you note down the temperature using thermometer, you will see here the temperature increased. Okay, here the temperature is increased. What does it mean? During the process in the first beaker, during the process of the dissolution of potassium nitrate in water, heat from the surrounding is absorbed. So heat is absorbed inside. When you add this mixture and shake it properly, what will happen? The heat is absorbed from the surrounding inside the beaker. But in the second beaker, what is happening here? When the solid NaOH is dissolved in water, heat is given out. In this, heat is released. Okay, so can you tell me which is endothermic and which is exothermic reaction here? Okay, in previous slide, we know that endothermic means the heat is absorbed, exothermic is heat is released. So here in this reaction, where heat is absorbed is endothermic and where heat is released is exothermic. So we can write this is endothermic reaction and this is exothermic reaction. Okay, so from this activity, we found out which one is endothermic and which one is exothermic. Endothermic is when the heat is absorbed and exothermic is reaction is when heat is released. Okay. Now use your brain power. What is the difference in the process of dissolution and a chemical reaction? What is the meaning of that? In the process of dissolution, new substance is not necessarily formed. Whenever we say dissolution, a new substance is not formed. Whereas in a chemical reaction, a new substance is definitely formed. Second question, does a new substance form when a solute dissolves in a solvent? What is the meaning of solute and solvent here? If suppose you are making a sugar solution, sugar becomes solute. Okay, and water becomes solvent. Solvent is a liquid form. Solute is some substance when you are adding in it. Okay, just I am giving you example of a sugar solution here. So does a new substance form when a solute is dissolved in a solvent? It is not necessary. Okay, it is not necessary that a new substance is always formed. Suppose sugar is added in water, you will get a sugar solution. There is no new substances formed here. Okay, it is not necessary that it will give you always a new substance. It may remain same also sometimes. Okay, let's go to the next slide. Here, there is one activity here again. We have to find out which reaction occurs rapidly, fast, and which reaction occurs slowly. Here there are some statements are given to us. Take into account the time required for following process, classify them into two groups and give titles to the group. So we have to read this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 and tell which one takes slowly, the reaction is slow, and which reaction is faster, rapid. Cooking gas starts burning on ignition. Iron article undergoes rusting. Okay, is it fast or is it slow process? Erosion of rocks takes place to form soil. Is it fast? Is it rapid reaction or slow reaction? Alcohol is formed on mixing yeast in glucose solution under proper condition. Effervescence is formed on adding baking soda into a test tube containing dilute acid. A white precipitate is formed on adding dilute sulfuric acid to barium chloride solution. So which process is rapid, which reaction is taking rapidly and which reaction is taking slowly? We have to write these in these two columns. Okay. You can pause the video and try to think which one is the rapid and which one is the slower. Okay. Here, cooking gas starts burning on ignition. It is rapid reaction. Iron article undergoes rusting. It will take time, right? It happens very slowly. Effervescence is formed on adding baking soda into a test tube containing dilute acid. It is very fast reaction, rapid reaction. Erosion of rocks takes place to form soil. It's a very slow reaction. A white PPT is formed on adding dilute sulfuric acid to barium chloride solution. If you do this in the laboratory, then you will come to know the reaction is very rapid. But if you take alcohol, alcohol is formed on mixing yeast in glucose solution under proper condition. Alcohol cannot be made very fast. It takes time. Okay. I don't know whether you know about this. In alcohol bottles, they write 10 years, 20 years. I mean, they write how old is it. They say the taste is good, the older one. Okay. I don't want to talk more about it. I just want to say that alcohol is formed on mixing yeast in glucose solution under proper condition is a slow reaction. So it is a slow reaction, not rapid reaction. It takes time. Okay, so here we have discussed in today's video about endothermic and exothermic reaction. Okay, it can be seen from these examples what we discussed now that some reactions are completed in short time, that is occurs rapidly, while some other require long time for completion, that is occurs slowly. Okay, it occurs slowly. It means that the rate of different reactions is different. During winter, long time is required for setting milk into curd. You must be knowing this. While at the higher temperature, during summer, the rate of setting of milk increases and the curd is formed early. Okay, so you must be knowing this. Your mom must be knowing about the curd. How much time does it take? Whether it is faster in summer season or winter season. So you can find out this. Okay. So this is the end of today's lecture. Today's lecture we discussed about endothermic and exothermic reaction. I hope you have understood the meaning of endothermic and exothermic reaction. And also when you see the reaction, you can identify which one is endothermic and which one is exothermic reaction. Okay, till then, till I come up with the next lecture. Bye everyone, stay safe. Thank you.